Ministers can choose to be in the ministry, but ministers' children don't get that choice. We were born into it from day one. If I had the choice, would I change anything about my life? Well, here's my story. I can date it as far back as my childhood, when we moved from the Philippines to America. I never understood why back then, but I noticed the immediate care and love of the brethren for my dad and our entire family. I felt truly humbled even at a young age, how much effort the brethren gave to get to know us and to offer a lending hand. As a child, being the son of a minister did come with its own unique trials. The hardest was probably being stereotyped as this person who couldn't make mistakes. The weight of it was heavy to take at times. There were such great expectations from everyone, but looking back, it was all worth it. The sacrifices and commitment we put in as a minister's family had made me understand a bigger purpose to being brought up as a child in the ministry. We were given a responsibility to help the brethren we meet. It was almost like being a superhero. We were taught to never reveal our responsibilities or gloat our identities and just do the work of the Lord. And it made me feel I was fulfilling something greater than myself. In all honesty, it helped me to stay on the path God set out and saved me from making grave mistakes people of this world would commit. We're not immune to experiencing trials and sorrows, but with the help of God's words, always taught by the church administration, and my parents' guidance, my faith never faltered in the end, and to that I am thankful. However, as I grew up, we'd move a lot more frequently. There was always a struggle to building relationships with the brethren and having to leave them after a certain amount of time. I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions. Sure, we get to travel, but to constantly leave people had this psychological effect on me. I always had in the back of my mind, well, we're going to leave again eventually, so I struggled initially making true friends. But I realized through prayer and dedicating myself to God, and from the advice of my parents, that that was just another part of life in the ministry. My dad always taught me that whatever God's will is, that's where He needs us to be. That's the comfort that I found whenever I was sad to leave my friends. The positives that came with being a son of a minister was that I learned and grasped so much knowledge about people and places. You learn different cultures and lifestyles, and learn to appreciate God's great works. Through time, I learned it's a blessing to meet new people, to grow together, and also to say goodbye. I now have meaningful relationships with brethren scattered throughout the world. I also learned that the reason we feel sad only means we have the capability to love. We wouldn't experience sadness if the brethren didn't mean anything to us. And they did. And now, it feels as if I have family wherever I go. That's how I know the love of the church administration has always been there for us. Throughout my life, I've moved around 16 times, and I've traveled in between 50 or more cities. Wherever the church administration needed us to be, rain, sun, or snow, we would be there. We wouldn't complain, because that was God's duty for us. Our God-given duty, which we cherish with all our hearts. And during those moves, I met all walks of life and heard their stories of faith. I connected with people, my friends, and I learned to love. Eventually, it would lead me to meeting my wife in a different country. One of the great things I'll always cherish is the bond between my family and I. My dad, my mom, my older brother, and I. Just the four of us. Whatever we went through, we relied on one another, and we loved each other the best we could. My father and mother used to always say this to us: do the Lord's work first, and no matter what you do or where you go in life, God will be with you. As I'm a minister's son, with my own respective wife, and my brother has his own wife in a different country, and my parents are assigned as well in another country. We're all kind of separated at the moment, but we truly feel God's love as if we were all together still. It's never ending, it's always abounding, even when we're seas and oceans away. I remember the memories that we all had together, the people we've met, the locales that we've tried to inspire, which truly shaped me into the person I am today. I carry on in this world as an adult. I go to work just like anyone else, and I try to make ends meet. And as I walk, I believe God is by my side. And when the time comes where we will have to wait for the holy city to see one another again, I know my parents' advice from God's words will live abundantly through me. It's the way I hope to teach my future children, and the way I hope they will teach their own someday. That's the fruition of God's love. That's why I love my parents with every fiber of my being, for allowing me to be a part of the journey within the ministry. I am proud to be a minister's son. There is nothing that I would change about my life. Oh, how it's truly been a blessed life, due to the love of our Lord God.